So Unfabulous Gamer asks, how long did it take to make Extinction, and how much of an effort was like put into it? Was it like a good chunk of the team? Like, I mean, so obviously there's a cross team effort between Infinity Ward, Julian, you're on the Infinity Ward side, and Brian, of course, is from Neversoft. Like, so how did that whole process work out? And like, where in kind of the stages of development, I guess, did that kind of happen?
They kind of started halfway, I would say the second game, or a little before that. The team was much smaller in the beginning. Right? We had, how many, 6 people?
It wasn't much, yeah. It was
You started with 6 people, wow.
Well, it grew it grew bigger later on. It took about a year. We ran into some challenges we've never done, apparently. Quadruped in Call of Duty before, and what it means to shoot these guys, and what it means for their behaviors, and how do we design maps to fit these guys, because the concept for players, the concept of taking cover is no longer there. They're not shooting you.
Yeah.
They're threatening you when you get close. So we have to kind of think about the immediate local space without cover, less clutter, so you have an easier time dealing with them when you get close.
Well, and even just the size of their enemies. I don't think there's ever been an enemy that big in a Call of Duty game, especially when you get kind of further on.
Yeah. It was about a year. We had a really small team, a couple animators, a couple level designers, and really like maybe, I don't know, what do we have, 3 or 4 scripters.
Yeah.
And we added a few people along the way, but we still did it with a fairly small team. Call of Duty, the campaign missions took an enormous amount of work to get done. MP's got a huge team. We were like, I think it was probably a year, including like the pitch process and getting everyone, all the stakeholders in the franchise on board. To do this.
So actually tell us about that. Like, what was that aha moment? Like, we want to do something kind of off the wall, a little crazy, something we haven't really done before. Like, what was the thought process there? And like, I mean, obviously some of that might be privilege, but like, just in general, like, where did that idea come from?
It started with a lot of PowerPoints and pitches, right?
Yeah.
And green light meetings and those types of things that we do on the publishing side. Beyond that, though, our first demo was in single player. We did single player. We have 2 different executables, single and multiplayer. We did it in single player executable. We had a lot more control over AI and those types of things in single player. And we have a really kind of an interesting pitch that Julian pitched us as well on this. And we put together a nice single player demo that probably was about last mid-January was when we pitched that.
Wow.
So we had the jumping down, we had the creatures jumping and all of that, the amount of animations when they land and how those animations are played and which one we use when they land, and that whole kind of animation tree was already established. We established that in single player. We had a really compelling demo, and then we moved it to multiplayer for a couple months. That was a pretty Herculean effort. And then at that point, mid-April, we really hit our stride, and we just heads down working for the next 5 or 6 months. But we had all of our ducks in a row at that point.